Welcome, friends, to another edition of Paisano's Music and Vinyl Talk. I am your host, Paisano. Tonight, Paisano has dug up an album from one of the greatest American rock bands ever, one of the most unique rock bands ever, made up of four very special musicians. The group I'm talking about is The Doors, from Southern California. They all met in the Southern California area. Jim Morrison, the lead singer, and Ray Manzarek, the keyboardist, met on the beach one day in 1965, and the rest was history. And unfortunately, it was a rather short history. Jim Morrison died in 1971. At the age of 27 years old. A genuine loss. One of the great singers. I mean, he could actually sing. One of the great singers of rock, no doubt. And the album we're going to discuss tonight is their fifth studio album called Morrison Hotel. Came out in 1970. It had some great songs on it. I mean, this band was something else. I mean, you had Morrison, the charismatic, good-looking lead singer who could really sing. You had Ray Manzarek, one of the most talented keyboardists ever in rock. He could play anything. He can play anything. Robbie Krieger, fantastic, underrated guitarist, but everyone knows his riffs, and everyone knows he's great. And John Densmore holding down the drum duties. Perfect for that band. I don't know if he would have been perfect in any other band, but he was sure perfect for the Doors. As a whole, they were just so unique, so American, very American group. There was no way you could, mistake these guys for British or anything other than American. Their music was very, very American. And this was a tremendous release for them. They had had plenty of success right from the get-go. Their first album, named The Doors, put them on the map right away. I mean, instantly you knew you were dealing with something different. Out of Los Angeles. And, like I said, this was their fifth album, and it kicked off with probably my second favorite Doors song, Roadhouse Blues. I mean, what a way to get an album started. I mean, a rocker, and nobody did rock like Jim Morrison. Fantastic riff, simplistic, but just fantastic. Great show opener. From this point forward, they would open the show with Roadhouse Blues and to let you know that the party was going to start. Waiting for the Sun is the second song on side one, and they had an album before this called Waiting for the Sun. An entire album. You Make Me Real, very good song. And the duo of Peace Frog and Blue Sunday. Peace Frog, very reflective of the turbulence, the political turbulence of the late 60s. And Blue Sunday, Jim showing off the vocals, good slow love song. Ship of Fools finishes out side one. And my favorite Doors song, Land Ho, starts off side two. I love that song. That's a rocker. That's a stomper right there. The Spy, Queen of the Highway, Indian Summer, and Maggie McGill finish out side two. I own this one on cassette forever, and I was in Cheap Thrills Records in Dedham, Massachusetts, and I was just bumming around, had no intentions. I didn't walk in there specifically to buy this. But I came across it, and it was advertised as an original first press, and it was $9.99. How could you say no to that? I considered that an upgrade, a big upgrade from the cassette. And it turned out to be a very clean copy, very nice copy. It's only about 3 or 4 years ago. And let's take a look at the album itself. That's a great, great shot of the group right there. Little did anyone know, they didn't have much time left, only about a year or so. Very, very sad. The Doors tried to continue without Jim Morrison, but you don't need me to tell you it just wasn't the same. And they packed it up very shortly thereafter. This was an Elektra release, and this was in the Elektra early days of Elektra. They were an old folk label, and the Doors were a huge signing for them. Huge, huge signing for them. And some pictures concerning Elektra and the various buildings and endeavors. The locations, West Coast headquarters, pictures of the toilet flushing upstairs. Very charming. Very charming indeed. Some of the real estate that they were into at the time, 1970. And the vinyl. This is side one with the gigantic red Elektra label. Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed our little discussion about the Doors tonight. If you're enjoying our discussions here, if you would be so kind to like and, more importantly, subscribe. I'd appreciate it very much. What will Paisano dig up next week? Tune in. Find out. Good night, you two.